Hello and welcome back to the Jessica Pinelli podcast. This is my last podcast episode before I go to Europe. There's 48 hours. We leave tomorrow night, like midnight. I'm so excited now. This is like my last kind of in quotation marks work thing because when you love what you do, you don't work a day. Jokes. Can we just like all jokes aside? I don't really believe in that saying. I think even when you love what you do, like I do, I'm so grateful for the business that I have built. There are still days, if you are practicing discipline and focus to get your goals, it's still going to feel like work or you're still going to be tired. So it kind of just like it came out of my mouth and I'm like, what? I don't even believe in that crap. Anyway, this is like in quotation marks, my last work thing that I have to do today. I think there's probably like small bits and pieces, but because I am now recording these and filming these at the same time, I want to get it edited. I want to put it on YouTube. I want to, designing the YouTube thumbnail. Oh my God, it takes time. There's a couple of times where I'm like, okay, this is super easy. And then other times I'm like, nothing is fitting. Anyway, let's do our card pull. I'm going to use the same card deck that I did. I think it was last episode, the one that was gifted from my friend in my little pink bag here. I'm just going to shuffle them around. I am going to pick three cards. Three cards. So I want you to set your intention coming into a new month. Of time of recording this, it is July 28th. So we are moving now into the month of August. I want you to think of an intention, really whatever came up first, or the word or the theme or things you've been working on. That's your intention. Hold it, don't change it. We're going to do three cards now. One, two, or three. Choose. Have you got it? Don't change. Number one, number two, or number three. All right, I'm going to feel and pick out cards. So we've got one, we've got two. You can probably hear a little ruffling. And, oh, my hand wants to do this one. Number three. Okay, my number ones for your intention moving into a new month of August. Your card is Showtime. Ooh, this is your one life, and you get the chance to write the script, be the director, and star in your own epic. Oh my God, love that. Showtime. So if you're number one, basically what this is saying to me is now is the time to become the main character of your life. Step into that main character energy, and I want you to take control of your life. My number twos, your card is Persevere. For every door that closes, there is another waiting to be opened. So maybe you have tried something, maybe the first half of the year didn't go exactly how you plan or how you would like, but this is really telling you keep going. Don't stop. This is something that you need to focus on and don't give up, basically, even if you have failed. Remember, failure equals feedback. And then my number three is trust. Everything happens at the right time for the right reasons. Something I say to my clients all the time is remember that everything happens in perfect divine timing. It is happening exactly how it is meant to. And there used to be so many moments when I was in my 20s where I was like, why the fuck is this happening to me? Why me? The victim mentality of like, oh my God, it could have gone like this or things could have worked out better. No, everything truly happens in perfect divine timing as it is meant to happen. So please remember that. And like the card says, trust. Trust yourself, trust the situation, trust the experience, trust what is happening. So my number ones, Showtime. My number twos, Persevere. And my number threes, Trust. Okay, let's get into today's episode. But as always, I just want to share with you that a lot of these episodes, a lot of the work and the content I'm creating is, of course, inspired by Elevate the Mastermind. Elevate the Mastermind is my 90-day mastermind to create a purpose-led life, regulate your nervous system, and eliminate all your money mindset stress. I'm so excited. We start the next round September 18th. It is application only because a mastermind isn't just one group call per week and that's it. A mastermind is really intimate. So if you're not ready for the high ticket of my one-on-one container reclaim, my mentorship, definitely, but you're like, I need support in some capacity, but I do want those one-on-one touch points, the mastermind is for you. So yes, we have the group aspects. We have pre-calls per month over the 3 months. One is success strategy. So we'll be talking about everything to do with success, whether you're in career, whether it's something to do with your business, whether it's something to do with your lifestyle. what's the plan we're making for you? So this is, all the calls are going to be very, very workshoppy. Lately, I have been loving using Zoom Whiteboard. If any of my clients or my the Fem Club women are listening to this, they would be like, yep, agreed, because I'm just loving workshopping, being very visual. So number one is success. So how are we getting you to your definition of success? The second call of the month is going to be all about regulation, nervous system regulation, how to tap into that for you. But also the kind of point of difference that I love teaching my clients is not just like, okay, what's a good meditation, or how do we calm ourselves down, how do we anchor ourselves, but also how are we stretching our energetic capacity to actually be more and feel safe holding more, but also maintaining the success we've workshopped in the week before. And now, how do we maintain and regulate to that success? That is going to be a really, like, they're all key calls, but that, like, when you are growing, when you are progressing, when you have finally decided, I'm going to invest in myself, I'm going to commit to myself, because that's really what it is, right? It's not just, oh my God, this amount of money, I'm going to put it in, hopefully something sticks. Investing in yourself, and I didn't realize this until probably the last year and a half, it actually means having a commitment to yourself. So if you are someone and you're struggling, maybe you've been watching my stories, maybe you've been listening to the podcast, and you are like, I really want to do this, but my money mindset is getting in the way. Really, you need to ask yourself, why do I have a lack of commitment to myself? So we're really going to be regulating you to new heights, new capacities, and as the mastermind suggests, elevate you. And then the third call of the month will be all money mindset, working through those money blocks, those subconscious blocks, being able to actually speak to your subconscious mind, to your triggers, understanding, like, I have a framework called the emotional matrix, actually understanding not just, oh my God, this came from my parents, because they lived in poverty or whatever. It's actually being able to understand the resentments, the infatuation, the fantasy, and the fears that come up with money. And if you have never been in one of my containers and I haven't spoken about the emotional matrix, you're probably like, what the fuck? But there is so much more to money mindset than a lot of coaches will just teach you, like, okay, what's your belief? It came from your parents. Now, how can you act differently? That's a huge part of it. But what I'm going to be going through when it comes to money mindset is actually, how can we speak to the subconscious mind to see different results, to feel differently. I released a reel last night and it was all around, yeah, you can do all the meditations and the journaling when it comes to money, but you need to feel into the money. So those are the three calls that are going to be happening inside of Elevate. And like I said, you get the one-on-one touch point as well. So you will get a one-on-one call with me, but once a week, you will have private Voxer access to me, and you can ask me anything you need to on a one-on-one basis. So I'm really excited. There's going to be content, resources, all of that, right? The logistical things. But if this is resonating, if this podcast episode resonates with you, definitely head to the show notes below. You'll be able to apply. There's 8 spots for the next round. I want it really, like, cozy and intimate. I just love that, and being able to spend ample time of everyone. I have been part of a group coaching, and there were like 25 people, maybe even 30 people on the call, and it was a workshop type call, and it was just ridiculous. And I promised to myself, it's just not worth it. And if, when I get to the capacity of having more people that want to come in, that are ready for Elevate, then I will be definitely splitting it in accordance to time zones, because you can't workshop efficiently. And if you're a coach out there and you're listening to this, if you are creating a mastermind vibe with workshopping, not just teaching or reading off a slide, workshopping, you need to make it small and intimate. So I'm excited for that, but definitely show notes below, or come to my Instagram, slide in, send the word Elevate, and then we can have a chat about it. But today, going into today's episode, and really what's inspired is, how do we be our most magnetic self? How do we tap into our most magnetic self? And I'm going to share with you 2 things that I want you to think about, feel into, I want you to journal about, I want you to understand. And there's nothing that is like, what's the word? Nothing that's going to like blow your mind here, but I think that these have been big points of differences in my year this year, and in my clients' year, particularly my one-on-one clients. When you're applying these 2 things, that you are definitely going to see a different result to your life. And like I said, they're not mind-blowing, but I want you to get really honest with yourself. Like I always say here on the podcast, are you actually taking action on these things? Are you actually reflecting on them? So number one is how much of your life is actually dictated by the people in your life and what they think, what they perceive about you, their opinions about what you're going to do. Like your fear of being judged, your fear of someone saying something about you posting on the internet, or your partner disagreeing about you starting a business, or maybe your friends make fun of you. Little side step, when I said this to my partner the other day, when I started my business, and I've shared this on the podcast before, but bless my friends, but when I started my business, it was not really a thing to do what I do. Now it's a thing, right? Every other person is a coach. But when I started, it wasn't a thing. The people you would look up to would be like Oprah Winfrey and like Mel Robbins, Tony Robbins, like all of those types of people. And so my friends would make fun of me. My friends would make comment, even people that I'd meet, and I'd get a little bit nervous saying what I did, because I'd be like, oh, okay, you do mindset for women, confidence. Like, do you make money out of that? Or like, oh, business online. No one really took me seriously. Now, in the past, I don't know what's in the air, but in the past 3 months, I have had so many conversations with said friends, some family members, about, I want to start a business. I want to create my own life. I don't want to be working forever. I don't want to do this. I want to be able to have a life of this. I want to put myself out there more, right? It's not even about starting a business. So if you're listening to me, by the way, Elevate is targeted for women both in business or a career, just if you're wondering. But it's not even about starting that. But the point that I want to give you is, imagine if I listened to my friends back then. Imagine when I was in Bali. Pardon me. Imagine if I was in Bali and I started this business, and my friends are in my head like, oh my God, you're going to make money off that? Or like, what is that? That's kind of weird. Or, when I'd post stories, sometimes I'd take the piss out of, or they'd make little sarcastic jokes, right? And for me, like, there were some friends that I did confront it with. This is a whole other podcast episode, but just to give you some background. But if I allowed those opinions to get into my head, I probably would not have continued a business, or I would have continued to fail, because I'm thinking, if I can only do something if my friends approve, or I can only do something if my friends think it's cool. I've had that conversation recently with someone about, I don't want to put myself out there, or I don't want to do something because my friends don't think it cool. Fuck your friends, fuck your family. If you're in a career and you want to start a business, fuck what people at work think. And this is like, I'm so grounded in this. I'm so grounded in this because I believe that we are not our most magnetic self, our most authentic self, without really releasing what people are saying about us and how they are going to perceive us. Remember, stock standard advice. People are always going to have something to say. People are always going to have an opinion or a perspective on what you are doing that is in alignment with their values. Is it wrong? No. If it triggers you, it doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means there is something inside of you that you haven't owned, loved, and healed. You need to own those parts of yourself. But if something is lighting you up, it's something you're doing, if it's not a business, a hobby, or the way that you want to dress, or where you want to go to travel, whatever you want to do, if someone is telling you that it's weird, or it's not cool, or they make fun of you, turn a blind eye. It may need to get to the point where you do need to communicate, like, hey, I need to set some boundaries right now, whatever it may be. But you need to be so rooted in yourself about what you wanted to do. And I truly believe my resilience in that, and being so rooted and knowing, like, this fire I have in my stomach to begin an empire, to be my own boss. A year and a half ago, I crossed over into making 6 figures in my business. That would never have happened if I listened back to my friends and thought, oh, it's not cool, it's not a thing right now, or it's kind of weird that I'm speaking on my story and I'm teaching. Like, imagine. And so the first thing is, I need you to actually ask yourself, who in my life is actually dictating to me how I should live my life, or how I should be? And even if one person, and it's only a small amount, comes up, You need to clear that charge. You need to clear that trigger. You need to let go of whatever triggers you have, or why you care so much about that person, or why you do what you do, right? Whether it's your partner, your best friends, your family, it does not matter. Remember, at the end of the day, and this is what I kept reminding myself, is I am living my life for me. If I listen to what everyone else has to say about my life, or the choices I'm making, or the things that I'm doing, or how I share or present myself on social media, I'm going to live a pretty miserable life, because I'm not going to be happy. It's not going to feel aligned. It's not going to feel fun or inspiring to me. What's something I teach you all of the time on this podcast? You need to do it if it's fun and inspiring for you. And my business, the reason I started it, I had these ideas, I had these visualizations, the things that I'm doing too. Some of my friends are even taking the piss out of me going away. I'm getting so excited for this big bougie Europe trip that I'm doing. And you know why? Because they can't do it. Because they aren't in a position financially, with their job, emotionally, mentally, to be able to do that. Is that wrong or right? No, there's no wrong or right. That's my idea of freedom. Other people's idea of freedom is settling down and having a baby with their partner. There's no wrong or right. And that's something I can truly get behind. I've always said here on this podcast, is there is no wrong or right. But imagine, it got into my head, I'm like, oh my God, I'm being a show off? Am I like, should I not pose? Should I not? And I'm like, fuck no. This is something I'd had in my journal, future scripting in my journal, for like 5-6 years. And now I'm doing it. I'm doing it with the love of my life. I'm doing it with my own business. I get to create content. I get to talk to my clients. Like, so what I'm saying, and you can tell like this is an important part for me, is I am seeing too many people allow themselves to be dictated by what their friends, family, partner, peers are saying or doing, or thinking there is a right answer. So that is number one. You need to let go of any of those charges that you have, or thinking like, oh my God, if I post this, what are they going to think? What are they going to say? They're probably going to say something. They're probably going to think something. I know, like, even to this day, I've had these conversations with my friends, and I know still, they may think things about my post, or when I speak about money, because money is such a triggering topic for so many people. When I speak about my success, when I speak about my failures, people say things, people have perceptions of how you should be. And that's absolutely okay, but that's not up to me to decide what's right or wrong, or like what people should say. So right now, whatever you were thinking, whatever you want to start, whatever you keep putting yourself off, whether it's starting a business, a new hobby, whether it's, dressing a different way, you need to do it. If it's in alignment with you and makes you feel good, you need to do it. The second point, I think I've shared on this podcast before, but these two just go hand in hand. You need to do the most cringe-worthy shit. Whatever people are viewing you as cringe-worthy, you need to do it. And I've shared the story how, oh, actually, I'll share a really recent one. I made a TikTok about this. This was like last week, I think. I was on my daily walk, and I was filming something like a story or a video. Anyway, I had my AirPods in, and I went to sit down to edit it, and two people my age walked past, and I hear them go, oh my God, how embarrassing, like filming out in public. So imagine, again, this feed, see how both these points like feed into one another. So they believe it's cringy. It lights me up. It serves me. It serves me as a coach. It serves me as a woman. It serves me as a business owner. It serves, who I'm trying to impact on social media. But imagine if I cared about what they think. I probably would have deleted that video. I wouldn't have put it out, and I would not have helped other people on social media, or my clients, or whoever's consuming me. But to those people, it is cringeworthy. But to me, I'm like, it lights me up. It's fun. I love it. I'm a chatterbox. I want to share what I'm thinking, and what I want to teach you. And, I just thought it's so funny, because obviously it's a triggering point. It's either A, they hate their lives, they hate their 9 to 5s, they wish they could do what I do, they wish they could get on their camera, they're too scared. Those are the types of people, just a little bit of psychoanalyzing, those are the types of people that their whole lives is dictated around what their friends or what their family believes is the right thing to do. And so, just to highlight again, the second point is you need to do the most cringe-worthy things that are lighting you up and is cringeworthy to other people. That's what makes you magnetic. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you live a purpose-led life. One of the core pillars inside of Elevate the Mastermind is going through your purpose, understanding what success is to you. How do we work that, the last call on TFC this week, the Fem Club, was all about purpose, was all about identity mapping, and the things that like purpose just gets me so fired up. And the thing is, most people have no idea how to tap into their best superpower, which is their purpose. And when you are not giving a fuck about what people are saying, when you are doing the most cringeworthy things that make you feel good, that are authentic to you, you will be in alignment with your purpose. You will be your most magnetic self. That is the most important thing that matters. So stop caring what people think. Go and do the shit that lights you up, even if people are like, oh my God, that's cringy, or like, can't believe you do that. Who cares? See how they feed into it one another. And again, these are big conversations I have in all of my containers. The two available at the moment at Elevate the Mastermind and my one-on-one mentorship for Reclaim. There is one spot left for the year for that one, 8 spots for Elevate. But I'm going to leave you there. Thank you so much for this. This was such a fire episode just before I go to Europe. And I think I mentioned this, but I don't know if I mentioned it directly, but you can also watch the video version of this on YouTube, and you can see how much I talk with my hands. As always, I appreciate you all. I would love for you to rate this 5-star reviews. It really, really helps the podcast on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I think Google and wherever else you are listening to it, it really, really helps the podcast. And I will speak to you soon. Bye.